they fought last time. They were both training in our same gym. So
who doesn't train at this gym at one point, Eric?
I got a call from Mick Maynard, and he's like,
This is the Schmo with the Pro. We're here at Xtreme Couture with Coach Eric Nicksick. It's Las Vegas, Nevada. We're about a week and a half out from UFC 312 in Australia, down under. How we doing, Coach?
oh, I'm ready to roll, man. I can't wait to get back to Australia and do it all over again.
Some good sparring action going on. It's a Tuesday. It's always nonstop action here.
Yeah, no, as we see, we're wrapping up right now, and quite a crew in here, a lot of good 85ers, and then we'll have Sean later up. He's got Johnny Eblen for 5 rounds. It'll be our last good hard spar before we leave.
Championship level sparring between Johnny Eblen and Sean Strickland. But let's talk about Sean Strickland. So talk to the Schmo for a second. You know what it's like training a champion, but what makes it more challenging, or shall we say exhilarating, training a guy who's already had a taste of gold, but gets an opportunity to get the gold back again, and better yet, it's a revenge match, getting a rematch.
Yeah, man, he's hungry, you know, and I think that, you know, after the last fight, we left some things on the table. I think we could have done a little bit better. So knowing those things and trying to work on those things and trying to put something else out there that's going to make it a little bit more exciting for the fans is important to us, and you know, that's what we've been working on.
But what do you notice is the biggest difference between trying to get the gold for the first time and then having an opportunity of already tasting it and getting the opportunity for that revenge?
Honestly, I think he appreciates that championship belt more than he did the first time around. I think for him, the first time around, he didn't know how to react to it. And then once it was gone, I think he understood the importance of being a champion and what that actually feels like, you know? So it's more personal for him now.
But what's it like going all the way to the other side of the globe? You're on a different time zone. You got to get acclimated to that. And it's a very different feel than what you would be doing stateside here, or let's say just north in Canada.
I love it. I love that feeling. It's you know, it's your team. Tatiana and Patchy are already out there. Coach Nate's already out there. So it's like we have this army of Xtreme Couture going out there to get together. We already know the lay of the land. You know, the people of Australia were so kind to us. It was so great. A lot of good memories there. And you know, I'm just excited to go back out there and do it all over again.
Ready to get back into that action.
Back in that action.
Right in the thick of things. But also wanted to ask you this. Is there any update with the heavyweight champ, Francis Ngannou? The Schmo was over at BKFC this past weekend. We saw Big Ben Rothwell, 25 years in mixed martial arts. He finally has a gold strap. One of the guys he called out was Big Francis Ngannou. Could we ever see Francis taking off the gloves?
I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to see Francis hit somebody with bare knuckles unless they're, you know, sadistic and want to see somebody hurt really bad. But, you know, that's the nice thing about where Francis is positioned. He can call his own shots. So if the money's right and he wants to do something like that, bring it on.
Do you reckon he does mixed martial arts again, or he does boxing again? Any update of what he wants next?
Oh, I mean, whatever the highest bidder is. I think right now his plan was to go MMA boxing sort of thing. But after the situation that we had with Renan Fajeda and then the growth that we've seen in his MMA game, I would love to see him get back in MMA, you know, but the opponent's got to be right and the money's got to be right.
You just had on the Verse Us podcast Big Maxx Crosby. He's gone in there inside the cage and sparred with a guy like Sean Strickland. He likes his combat sports. What was it like chopping up with the biggest star on the Raiders here in Sin City?
One of the greatest human beings I've ever met, right? Just being able to sit and talk to him and tap into his mindset, listen to what they deal with in their locker room, how they deal with their personalities, things like that. And then hearing his story about being sober since 2020 and what made him realize like what he wanted to do to change his life, and seeing how that life change has catapulted him into the position he's at today. Just a very inspiring human being, and I was very honored to be able to talk to him.
And the Schmo knows he loves his UFC. He's been a fan since he was a young puppy. Do you ever think we'll see him compete inside the cage? And how would he do? Let's say if he's competing in the heavyweight division. Big Maxx Crosby. We've seen the crossover of former NFL guys go to mixed martial arts.
Oh, I think you do great, and I love that aspect. Like give me the Sean Merrimans of the world, the Maxx Crosbys, the defensive ends, the stand-up outside linebackers. I think those are the guys. You know, the first time my dad ever met Francis, he's like, "Why is this guy not playing in the NFL? This is a 3-4 outside linebacker right now." So I think that the athleticism translates very well. You know, we've seen Maxx in here training, working with Sean Strickland. He's just a big fan of the sport. Now an investor in BKFC. You know, he's getting into other things and other avenues. So definitely, I think the sky's the limit for Maxx. He's young. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
We've seen so much great talent walk through these doors over the years. One guy in particular, Jiri Prochazka, he's coming off a big victory, UFC 311. Where do we see Jiri Prochazka fight next? Because it was a couple years ago, he got that big shoulder injury inside this gym where he vacated the light heavyweight strap.
Yeah, oh, don't remind me of that, man. I felt awful. Poor guy comes in, he was here for like 3 days and gets his shoulder hurt. So I couldn't be happier for him and his team and getting back into it, because it was such a bad injury at the time. But watching him now and seeing him get that win over Jamal Hill, who I actually thought Jamal was going to win that fight when I was looking at it, breaking it down. But hearing his weight, like, this guy can actually cut weight, make to 185s and be a staple in both divisions if that's something he wants to. Kind of like Roman Dolidze, he'd be able to move up and down pretty easy. So I think he has a lot of options depending on what he wants to do.
Yeah, he weighed in at 208 pounds. He was battling the flu. And Dana White, by the way, said that shoulder injury was one of the worst he's ever seen time.
It was the scream that when he was injured, man, my heart sunk. Like, and it was an accident. He was on a mat return and he posted his arm out, and just didn't really think about where his arm was when he posted it. And man, it was a horrific injury, and it broke my heart to see him and lose that opportunity of fighting or defending his belt, but happening in our gym.
Ankalaev's trained inside this gym. He seems to be next. He is going to be next in March for Alex Pereira. Obviously, he's got the wrestling skill set. He's got that wrestling base. Do you envision Ngannou when those two fight?
I don't know. Like, I want to say yes, because I think if Ankalaev comes out and implements his game plan right away, I think that it's going to be a tough, long night for Alex. But with that being said, the Jan Blachowicz fight brought up a lot of question marks for me as well. So I'm very interested in that fight. Ankalaev is a very good friend of all of ours at the gym, but so is Alex Pereira. So the chess match is what I'm looking forward to, and kind of seeing who implements their game plan the best. But I think if Ankalaev is smart, he gets on that single leg right away and gets wrestled heavy game plan. By doing so, even if you don't get the finish in the first couple rounds, your level changes have validity. It makes him threaten the takedown, which is going to help your striking only better.
A few moments ago, you mentioned Roman Dolidze. We saw him sparring a few moments ago inside the gym as well. He's got a rematch against Marvin Vettori. Yeah. Why take that fight? Did that surprise you at all, or is that just the right move at this time?
Well, I think Marvin's been looking for an opponent. I know Roman's been looking for an opponent. The nice thing about Roman is he is able to move at 205 and 85 pretty safely. But I think both guys make a lot of sense. That was a very close fight in the beginning. Marvin's tough as hell. He's over at ATT now, so we don't have that. I think when they fought last time, they were both training in our same gym. So
who doesn't train at this gym at one point, Eric?
I got a call from Mick Maynard, and he's like, enough of your middleweights training all in the same gym. He goes, I have to start matching these guys up. And I was like, no, I get it. I understand.
And you might steal Johnny Eblin here if you keep it up, too.
No, I mean, Johnny's an ATT guy, but he, we send Strickland out there, and Johnny comes over here. He's been a huge asset to Xtreme Couture. Having him over here just really raises the game of everybody, and, he's a champion through and through, and we love having him.
Is he going to be in the corner with you as well for Sean Strickland over in Australia?
No.
Okay.
He's supposed to be, but he can't make it. But
why?
He has some other stuff going on, business stuff going on. So, but we will have Alex Pereira in the corner. So, drop the news right now. Yeah.
There it is, Alex Pereira. How'd that happen?
Yeah. I mean, he's a good friend of Sean. And he's a great training partner. Obviously, these guys have fought, but after the fight, I think it takes a man to go and learn from the guy who caught you with something. These guys trained with each other a ton. Sean went up there to help him get ready for Khalil Roundtree, and I love having him, man. It's great energy. So we just talked yesterday. We were going to have the fourth, and it was going to be Alex. So I can't wait having him.
Iron sharpens iron. Can we get a final message for all the Eric Nicksick fans out there worldwide?
Australia and new ×2.
There it is. When are you heading out?
Thursday.
Wow.
Tatiana and Patchy are already out there, so, man, can't wait to get out there and see the team.
Less than 48 hours, this guy will be down under. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo Xtreme Couture. We're out.